Hello there my fellow viewers, welcome back to the channel and for another video on the What If series. For this video, we'll be talking about Elvis Presley. This would be the year of 2003. From his 21st Century album that was released in 1999 to his revival tour with Tom Jones in 2002. What would Elvis be doing next? Of course, he decided to release a next record, but this time around, he wants to promote it around the world. And what does it mean? Well, it's going to be called One Night Only. Now everyone is curious where did I get the idea from? Well, simply, it got inspired by the JT's 2024 One Night Only tour to promote his latest album, Everything I Thought It Was. So, it goes something like this. From Elvis's tremendous successes from his dynamite 1999 21st Century album with his huge following two tours, from his 21st Century World Tour to his reunited tour with Tom Jones in 2002. In the middle of the tours, Elvis has been in the studio back and forth since 1997 for his 1999 album. However, he decided to continue working on new material for his future albums. That would be his 2001 LP and the 2003 album, and a little bit of his 2005 album. On Elvis's birthday in 2003, he made an announcement that he would be on the road for a little surprise. At the time, fans were expected to hear a preview of a new material by Elvis, and some fans thought Elvis is gonna be back on the road to be doing a continuation of his 21st Century tour that ended in 2000. But apparently, it wasn't. Of course, Elvis hasn't released a proper album since 1999 21st Century album. So, at least he had recorded material for so long, so he got a lot of things in the pipeline to be released. So, Elvis decided to take on his One Night Only show around the world, kicking off from New Zealand to Memphis, from February to April 2003. During that time as well, Elvis is going to do a press conference before heading to his first show that is in Auckland. With updates from Elvis himself, Elvis made two announcements that when's the release date and will Elvis be on tour for the 2003 album? And the answers were a huge yes. So the album would be released in late of 2003 and the tour kicked things off in June. One question from the press asking him, would you preview us some new songs? Elvis replied, you will find out in the One Night Only shows, and each show will be previewed. Two new songs will be on from the new album. Then we hit the shows from February to April of One Night Only. It was spectacular, going to different arenas and fans thinking what type of show is going to be like. When the shows finished, fans were surprised that the songs were chosen from the previous albums from 1980 to 1994, including his mega hits from the 50s to 70s. And as well, even preview two new songs off his upcoming 2003 album. Now let's move on to the tour dates and setlist of the One Night Only tour. We kick things off in Auckland, February 26th, then Sydney, March 1st, then Melbourne, March 3rd, Brisbane, March 5th, then Tokyo, March 8th, Seoul, March 10th, Singapore, March 12th, Manila, March 14th, London, March 17th, Buenos Aires, March 20th, Sao Paulo, March 22nd, Rio, March 24th, Toronto, March 27th, LA, March 30th, Vegas, April 2nd, New York, April 4th, and finally Memphis, April 22nd. Now we move on to the setlist. This is a long setlist from each country. So we're kicking off in New Zealand and Australia. So we started off with That's Alright with a snippet of I Don't Want to Be Tied, then Burning Love, Solitaire, Fever, then Elvis would do two covers from his new album. That would be You Make My Sunshine and Long and Windy Road. And the two covers from Prince and the Beatles. Then we move on to Trying to Get to You, Heartbreak Hotel, Jailhouse Rock, Samson and Delilah from his 2001 LP. Then Don't Be Cruel, Blue Suede Shoes, I'll Go Crazy, the James Brown cover from the 2001 LP that it was recorded. Then Kill an Angel Good Morning, his 1987 album. Then My Heart Cries for You, the 1982 album. Then I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry, If I Loved You from his 1980 album. Then Suspicious Minds, My Way, An American Trilogy, and Way Down. Then we move on to the Asian setlist. So we kick things off with Luxurious Man from his 1980 album. Then I Got a Woman, Welcome to My World, Something, Love Coming Down, Living for the City, the Stevie Wonder cover from his 2001 LP, then Love Me, All Shook Up, Teddy Bear Don't Be Cruel, then a Beatles cover, that would be All You Need Is Love from Elvis's 1982 album, then Hound Dog, I Can't Stop Loving You, Blue Suede Shoes, then Tears in Heaven from the 2001 LP, then Hurt, then Elvis will be performing 2 songs, that would be The Wait, the Jimmy Barnes cover from Elvis' new album, and then also from the new album, Elvis has reworked a song called Mona Lisa. And then we go with The Wonder of You, A Big Hunk of Love, Lottie Miss Claudie, and finally Way Down. Then we move on to the London and the South American shows. We start with My Baby Left Me, Bernie Love, You Gave Me a Mountain, Trying to Get to You, Johnny Be Good, then Fire from the 1980 album, Heartbreak Hotel, Hound Dog, One Night, Don't Be Cruel, Jailhouse Rock, and then we go with Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, then Bringing It Home from the 2001 LP, then I'll Never Fall in Love Again. Then we move on to Elvis's 2 covers that'll be off the new album. One is a Temptation record, and that is I Can't Get Next to You, and the other will be Golden Years. Then we move on to Suspicious Minds, Way Down, A Big Hunk of Love, and Can't Help Falling in Love. Then finally, to the North American leg, we got CC Rider, Bitter There, Harder They Fall, Steamroller Blues, Moody Blue, Heartbreak Hotel, Don't Be Cruel, Blue Suede Shoes, Trouble, Rock and Roll Medley. And then we go with 2 covers, and that will be Imagine and When All Else Fails from John Farnham and John Lennon. And then we go with I Go Crazy, Are You Lonesome Tonight, then Spanish Eyes from the 2001 LP, then What Now My Love, Suspicious Minds, My Way, Big Hunk of Love, Lottie Miss Claudie, An American Trilogy, and finally Way Down. After a huge, tremendous success of the one-night only shows, fans were engaged what's the new sound of the new album be like, and it will be out the next day later. The record became one of Elvis's best projects, and later in life, it will become an underrated record, as critics praise as its emotional depth, genre fusion, and Elvis's mature, commanding vocals. It felt like the King had never lost his touch into a new era, no longer chasing trends, but setting there. Then, the 50th anniversary tour came along to promote the 2003 album. That'll be for a future video. Fans who attended those shows were not rushing back. This time will be a full context of new songs being performed, and the energy were electrifying. Each show felt like a victory lap, and for an artist who had somehow never lost his throne. But it also showed us something new, that Elvis, even in his late 60s, still had something to say, and millions still wanted to listen. So, that is all for the What If on Elvis Presley. Hope you all enjoy it. Thanks for listening and watching it. Please comment, like, and subscribe. If y'all haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please turn on the notification bell to make sure a new video will be up as you be the first. So, that is all from me. Take care of yourselves. Until next time, see you later.